Right, it's the premium video for Wednesday, the 23rd of March. So our video title was limbo or decision time, and what we were referring to there is whether we were getting a reversal here, and it's still not quite sure. Sorry. Still not quite sure whether we got a proper reversal or not. Okay, you can see here, although we got a move down of what was that, 600, 700 points, we kind of closed more or less where we opened. So the question now is, are we creating a head and shoulders top here? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Yesterday we said, it was more than likely that we were going to try and get to this 48,050 gap close, the intraday gap that sits up there. If I just move back to the 5 minute. Hang on. There we go, there's the 5 minute. So we said, more than likely our target would be here to the 600 level, the 47,600, and that's where we got to, but then we kind of sold off a bit more, and this was related to the Brussels bombings. Okay, so that was completely unexpected. I imagine if that didn't happen, we would have turned around there quite promptly and then moved higher. And then we said, more than likely we're going to close that intraday gap that sits up there, and most probably will do it on a gap up this morning. So now the question is, can we get short somewhere here? Well, we need to look at the pivots for that. Let me just call them up quickly. So the main pivot sits a little bit further down than where we're going to open, I think. 47,834. 834 sitting over here. BP. Now mid pivot and R1 is 48,070. That area there, that's mid. Okay, that's that little intraday gap we wanted to close there. The R1 48,306. So that's what we got. Often we find that if there's going to be a turnaround, the mid pivot is a good place to short, but I would give it a little bit of space and see what happens, particularly if we're going to try and maybe challenge that distribution bar there. Okay, the other thing that we have to look at is the Rand and the FTSE. Okay, we looked at them I think yesterday, so let's have a look. So here's the Rand, and every time we think that it maybe is going to break down on this head and shoulders, it gets rejected off the support or resistance, whichever way you're looking at it, if you're looking at Rand strength or dollar weakness or whatever it is. So there we are, nothing much further is developed there. Now the FTSE is quite interesting because we did get that neckline break here of the head and shoulders. Okay, so there it is. It broke here, and it was a good 80 points or so that we broke to the downside. And then we went back and retested, actually exceeded it, and closed below it over there. Okay, so now, is this going to hold or not, or do we see a turnaround here? So that'll be told to us today, I think. So data, nothing much earth shattering. Sorry, my computer is very clunky today. New home sales at 4 o'clock, but nothing earth shattering. So I hope it helps. See ya.